All right, all right. Good morning. Happy Sunday, everybody. Aaron, good morning. Armor 3D, thanks for that. Yeah, 1K would be nice. Still working on 500. I think as of last night, we're roughly 25 away. So we're getting there little by little. Boothie, good morning or good afternoon for you. Nomad's here. Nice. Ella, hey, thanks. Thanks for the project, by the way. Thanks for making it so easy. I was kind of reviewing everything yesterday, and we'll talk a little bit about it. Trying to figure out a game plan, so having you here would be awesome. So thanks. Set an alarm. Yeah, there's this cool feature in Facebook, or sorry, not Facebook, in YouTube, where you can click notify me, and it'll just tell you on your device. John, good morning. Cybertech, welcome back. All right, we got the usual folks here. A couple newbies. That's awesome. Got the whole Prusawire team. Yeah, no pressure, right? No man, no pressure. Pull up the Fusion website with the build. Yes, absolutely. But when we talk about build order, that's where you can kind of figure out whatever works for you. Don't have the YouTube app, so just did a normal alarm. Hey, that whatever works, right? Whatever works. Cool. Looks like we got most folks here. About 9 folks watching right now, which is great. We'll get up a little bit later. If you guys have not already, there is a filament giveaway. So if you want to go ahead and get in there, unfortunately, it's US only at this point. Still working on figuring out a sponsor to do international. Maybe one day we'll see if that happens. So if you're in the US, go ahead and sign up before you forget. Get busy. All right, let me show you where I am, and then we'll get pressing with the build. I want to make significant progress today, if possible. All right, this is the stripped down version here. So I took yesterday and removed all the bits and pieces. You can see this is an actual Mark 3S. The sticker's sort of peeling off at this point, but an actual Mark 3S Plus, and just down to a bare frame. It was pretty dusty and dirty. I did take some B-roll video and stuff like that to show how dusty and dirty it was, but I did clean things up, clean the electronics with some alcohol and some cotton swabs and stuff like that to try to get them as nice and neat as possible before we start installing things and stuff. I'm going to keep as much of the original build as possible, meaning same motors, same control board, same everything. Oh, I'm already down? Yeah. Hey, good morning, Martin. Yeah, we stripped it down yesterday. I needed to clean rods, clean bearings, like undo wiring, figure out how I'm going to progress. So I just took it all apart. Watching the teardown is not the most exciting thing in the world, so I went ahead and did that off camera. So cool. Yeah, I'm still seeing some dust on here. That's what I'm wiping off. But story on this, I picked this up from a friend who didn't really need it, wanted a good home, and so I picked up this machine. It had a few thousand hours on it. I want to say over 3,700 hours, roughly, from what I remember. And they gave it to me so that I could give it away to a STEM school. And so I did that. Well, recently they called me back and was like, hey, we're getting new bamboo machines for the STEM lab. And so if you want that old printer that you donated to us, you can come and pick it up. And so I went back, picked it up, and it kind of sat down over there for the last couple of months while I tried to figure out what to do with it. And then Ella released the Switchwire project. And so here we are with that project. It inspired me to build this. So here we are. Refurbishing old printers is kind of the name of the game on the channel for the next couple of months. And this is a perfect candidate for that build. You're basically on Mark III hardware except for a few quality of life things. Yeah, I'd like to know what those quality of life things are. I would love to put that on here, whatever those are. Aaron's asking about the serial number. I think that's this number here at the bottom. Is that what you're saying? Serial number on the sticker, Aaron, is Charlie Zulu Papa X-ray 4321 X-ray 004 X-ray Kilo 17006. Ew, they got bamboo. Yeah. Well, you know, it's a STEM class, so they got a bunch of P1Ss. Got them in touch with Printed Solid. Could have gotten them Core ones. If you have contacts like that, I would love a Core one. That would be awesome. I almost bought a Core one. I just don't have the room. I don't have the space. So that's what it is. Tool headboard, 10 millimeter rods. Ella, I already plan to do that. So I'm gonna do. I've got 10 mil rods right here behind the machine and parts. So these are brand new 10 mil rods that I got. I've also got the bearings for those. I did forget for about 4 days, and I was like, holy crap, I'm using different rods. I need different bearings. And then tool headboard I have over here behind me in my pile of junk. I've got one of these. So I plan to use this. This is the Stealth Burner version. I had to label it. And it comes with all the cabling you need, and it's got the tool heads. The tool head PCBs and stuff in here. So that is my plan. I'm gonna run regular stock Stealth Burner on this. I do have the printer itself came with an original. Where'd I put it? An original Revo V6. So I took it apart, cleaned it up. So it's got the heatsink for a V6 Revo. So I plan to use that on the build. I've already got the parts printing down here on the H2D because I forgot. And the heater, here's the heater for it. I'd need a nozzle, which I have plenty of spares. The wiring is fine. They chopped down the thermistor here. So if this doesn't work, I do have a spare heater. I've got spare nozzles, and we'll just add that on, and we'll do the V6. I kept all the fans and all the electronics and stuff. That's over here behind this crate of parts, all printed in glass fiber ABS. So it came out really nice and smooth. It's got like a matte texture to it, which I really liked. So just keeping it orange and black to give some homage to Prusa and their, their color language. So we'll do that. I even did a little multicolor on some of the parts. Oh man, yeah. There's a lot of bang things that you can bang in the chat, Aaron. Do I have a PZ probe? I do have a PZ probe. It makes the printer more reliable. I do have a PZ probe. Thought about it. My challenge is that PZ probe, does it work with a Revo 6? Because I don't know. One of the things I did to stay organized is I just took one of these containers. There's a lot less hardware than I thought there would be on a Mark III, but I've got all the spare parts, screws, and everything in here that I could keep. And I'm used to Voron type stuff and having a lot more hardware than this, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Definitely in the best position here. That's awesome. So good. Bang. Voron PZ. So it's the Revo Voron mounting. I did see a remix part on the printable site. I'll tell you what. Let's go over there. Let's take a look together. I did see the remix part. So this is the project page. And then under remixes, I did see this guy here. So Jarhead made a PZ probe. I also saw it in the, in the Discord that someone had done a PZ probe. Probably the same person, I think. But these parts here I would need to print because I did not print them. So I can run those off today. I don't know that we're gonna get this far yet. I need an X-axis still. That's the thing. And then we'll be using the CAD here. I need to reverse this mouse direction. Enable gravity. Okay, cool. Where's like... There it is. Reverse that. All right, so we're gonna use that for what we got going on. Hey, thanks for the sub, Sarah. Sarah Steven Slater, thank you. VHB the stuff together. I mean, you could do that. I will need some more hardware. Yeah, I've got plenty of hardware. I build way too many printers to have 0 hardware. So I'll be fine. But I did want to retain that in case I could reuse it elsewhere. I don't normally just throw hardware away unless it's very niche type stuff that I used on a single build. Yeah, I don't build a lot of 3030, although 1, 2, 3 of them are 3030. I just don't build a lot of that, so I don't have a lot of 3030 hardware. But you know, M3 screws and square nuts and stuff like that, I'll probably keep around. One thing I am curious though, what do we do with these Z motors? I feel bad about tossing those, but I don't have a project immediately that could use those. Keep them, not used. Yeah, I'll find something to do with them. They are pretty decent motors. I think they're like 1 amp or something. That was one thing I was wondering too. So these are 1 amp X and Y motors. The stock motors are 1 amp. But they have the special connectors on there to use with the buddy board. I thought about swapping these out. I have, you know, a drawer full of motors. I was going to swap these out for some 2 amps. But I'd have to find new connectors, new locking connectors to go in here. I could use just the standard DuPont and they would fit, but they'd be a little loose. So I'd put some silicone on there or hot glue to hold them. But I didn't want to go through all that. And just using the stock stuff, I think that's a good way to go, is to just build the project as it's intended and see where we end up. They were perfect for the X. The INZ only pushes 1 amp. Yeah, so that's the other part of it too, right, Ella, is I'd have to swap out the board, which I do have. I've got another... So I just tore down my Ender 3 for a different project. And I kept that main board. That's got an E3 turbo in it. Here it is. So it had this in there. This is a E3 RepRap firmware. So this is a RepRap board. And this can do, let's see, got 2209s on it, I believe. And so that can do a little bit more amperage, up to about 1.5, I think. So I thought about that. I know that there's the mod out there to take the case. If I had printed the other case, we could just put that in there perfectly and it would work well. But I'm probably going to use this on something else. So again, just keeping the project true to form. Looks like a maker base. Yeah, it's a big Tree Tech. It's a big Tree Tech board. So it's not one of their most popular products anymore, but at one point when RepRap firmware was still kind of the thing, this is right as Clipper was sort of coming out, RepRap firmware was the thing. I ran a few printers on that before, so we could get weird. Yeah, Ella, I saw the SKR, thanks. And this board would fit the same bolt pattern, so I could use this if I wanted. If not, I know CAD okay, and I can make it. But again, we're going to stick to the stock stuff, and I will probably, if I'm being honest, I will probably give this away to one of you guys. I am doing a printer giveaway at 1,000 subs. So as soon as we get there, we'll start planning that out and seeing what that looks like. Maybe this printer will be the giveaway printer. I'm saying maybe. All right, making some space. What do you say we get down to work? Where should I start? Get a machine up with wrap firmware? Yeah, I mean, you can. A lot of the SKR boards will accept rep. So it's just a quick flash. Going with the Rambo board. Okay. Rambo board is pretty cool. That's the one out of the Mark IV, right? Is Nomad, is it the same dimensions as this one here? Start with the PSU. Okay, we'll start with the PSU. We're gonna do what this side. Yeah, so I even left the hardware in for the PSU. Not here for the giveaway. You're in a different country. Goofy Cat, I'm sorry. I'll get you one day. Thanks for being here, though. I'll take the sub and the like if you got it. Oh, I thought this was the Einzi. Sorry. Did I get it wrong? Using the Rambo. Oh, it is the Einzi Rambo. So we're both right. 48 volt this one. Cybertech, if I had the hardware, I would do it, bro. The Mark IV uses the buddy board. That's right. Don't do the PSU. Get your gantry up first. I don't have all the things I need for the gantry, Ella. I have the linear rail. So I've got the 300 millimeter rail. This is a Honey Badger from Fabrico rail. I don't have, I swear I did, but I don't have the 2020 I need. I've got a ton of extra 2020 kind of out of frame up there on the shelf. But the shortest one that I have that will work is a 370, which I need to cut. And I didn't have time to do that today before stream. So start with my motors. That's what I was thinking as well. Einzi Rambo, shortened it to Rambo. Yeah. I was just calling it the Einzi. I didn't realize it was a Rambo. I don't understand those names anyway. Using Orange 2020. That's cool. Did you get that from DLL PDF? Find these motor parts while we're shooting the breeze here. So again, these motor parts, those things came out pretty nice. Glass fiber for the win. There's one mount. I thought if I used a larger bin, like this crate here that I got from the Daiso. This is one of those like foldable flat pack type of crates. And I thought if I use one of these, I'd be able to find my parts a little easier because it's larger than using a filament box. And also all the parts would not fit in the filament box. All right, I'm seeing some parts in here. What happened to my other motor mount? I would feel really dumb right now if I only printed one motor mount. Because I think that's what I might have done. Come on. Yeah, I think I only printed one motor mount. How did that happen? Because I have the two tensioners, but only one motor mount. As soon as your gantry is done, you can de-rack it, and then you don't need to take it off. The bed and Y is best way. Yeah. LDO Switchwire kit. Let's see. X and Z motors, and then the idlers. See, my thinking is to add the PSU so you can tip the printer on a side without it falling. Aaron, we may have to do that anyway because I only have the one motor mount. Oh, that's a Z. Dang it. Yeah, I need to print another motor mount because I'm dumb. This part is done. Yeah, so I have all the gantry stuff, but I don't have a 2020 in the right size to print it, or I mean, I'm sorry, to install it. But I also only have one motor mount, so we may end up having to do just PSU anyway until I can do a motor mount. You're looking for the X and Z ones. There should be 2 black plates. Okay, so we're talking about this one? Is this what we're saying? You saw them? Yeah, I should probably have CAD open so that I can see what you guys are looking for. So this guy, okay. I was looking for something like this. But I guess this is Y. Like that. That's why I only have one of them. That totally makes sense. Again, should have viewed CAD a little better before starting. There's the X. And these are my bearings, my extras. If anybody's building a Prusawire and you need 2 extra bearings, I've got 2 extras. They came in a 4-pack. All right, now I need the upper parts. Yeah, let me take a look at CAD. So I'll tell you what, let's just go in here and we'll look at all this together. So that's that part there. And then I've got this red part, which mine is orange, and I've got the motor. The next part is this piece here. And there's a heat set in the top of that. So let me find that. I feel like I printed mine in orange, so they should stand out. This self burner stuff. These are gantry stuff. Gonna need the tool, so I'll bring that out for the motors. Let's see. There we go. Two gantry things. I don't know what we call these. This is Z. That one's X. I guess they go this way. This one goes over here. So Z motor is on my right. You're making a Prusa Bear or just rebuilding a Mark III? Reth, this is actually your Mark III that was returned to me. I gave it to that school, and then they called me because they got bamboos and was like, "Hey, come get this thing if you want it." And so I got it back, and we're gonna do a Prusawire, which is basically like a Switchwire, but on a Prusa frame. So we stripped it all down. We're gonna reuse most of the parts, so motors, board, PSU, display. You can use all of the same rods and bearings if you like. I chose to get new ones. I'm gonna reuse the rods. I got new bearings, and then I'm doing 10 mil rods like the Mark IV on the Z axis. We'll reuse the bed and as much of the hardware as possible. The screws, you might need shorter ones for the Mark III frame. Jump down from 10 to 8 for the idlers at the top. Thanks. So that and the black. Yeah, now we need these black parts. So that would be this guy here. We should have another one like that. Yeah, so some of these I printed. So this is for, I printed the stealth ducts for a normal Revo. And I'm using the V6, so don't need those. And there's the other one. Do they need filament or they got bamboo filament? They probably need some filament. Yeah, they ended up getting a couple of P1Ss. So like as school was letting out, the lady Kathy called me and was like, "Hey, that printer you gave us, last October, did you want it back? If not, we're gonna junk it. We're gonna throw it in the trash." And I was like, "No, don't do that." So I got it back in like May or something. It's kind of been hanging out, and so I cleaned it up and we're gonna rebuild it. All right, let's see how this goes together. There's some of the longer screws that need to be a little shorter on the Mark III frame. Okay, we'll I saved it. Yeah, saved it for sure. Yeah, so Reth, I think this one is like the April Fool's joke printer. But Ella took it seriously and said, "I can build that for real," and she did. I like that the CAD is available on the web like this, so that you can just use it in the browser. Part of your goal with this project, reducing e-waste. I love it. What kind of are these? Just normal bearings here? These are F695s. Let's open the browser window. 623s. Okay. Pretty sure I have some of those around. What is this screw? The M3 by 40. Hide this. That. 63s. Got it. Upper idler screw needs 2.5. What do you mean? Upper idler screw needs this one here. 2.5 of spacers using the stock. Probably because of that washer there, right? And then you got another one sort of in between here. Is that what you mean? You got two in between, so you're just doing normal bearing stacks, right? So it'll be spacer, idler, spacer, and then you do that twice on a Mark III frame. And Elvis says no, it doesn't. I love it. You guys should fight it out in the chat. Mark III frame in front of printed part. Well, we're just gonna hide these bearings. And the way I'm doing that, I'm just holding the shift key to select multiple items. And that'll how you do it in this browser-based version. It's on the front edge. Just follow the CAD and you'll be fine. Not on the bearing stack. We'll just have to see how it goes. I don't know what you guys need. I need to add that heat insert on there. What screw is that? That's a M3 by 10. And then you have that 40 that goes through everything. Okay. And then that heat insert there. And I think the other side is the same. Basically. Screw is that. Also a 40. And that's a 10. Cool. Yeah, so we can do it that way. And we get to do a couple of heat inserts. So these are all the bearings. So these are the new ones that I bought. I need to grease all of these as well. They're dry. I had them soaking in alcohol overnight, and then I took them out about 4 hours ago so that they could dry off. I need to put some grease down in there and things like that. And then we'll keep these 8s. I know that I only need 3 for the y-axis. All the rest of these came off the printer in other ways. So you had 4 in the z-axis, and then these were on the tool head, and then you had 3 on the y. So we got all of these bearings extra now. Again, if someone is building a new Prusawire and you need some bearings, let me know. I'll pass these off to you. We'll hold on to that. I tried to pick the ones that I thought looked the best, that had like the least amount of dirt and stuff in them. And I think these are all good. No, that one got mixed up. There we go. I mean, these all look pretty decent. I swear that I had new bearings for the Y, which we'll get to, but that's for another time. I need a 2020 rail right now. Let's see. On the bearings, if the screw is too long, go down a size. Yeah, it's a mirror. Okay, so that's that. We got the soldering iron hot already. I've got a ton of heat inserts over here, and we just need the two. You got your Donor Mark III off a Swedish Craigslist. The previous owner put Masumi bearings on it. Nice. These are also Masumi. So I don't know if you can see that or not on there. That is Masumi bearings. Oh, dropping stuff. Okay. Iron doing part. I broke my heat set press, and so we have to do this by hand like a savage. I broke it because I took it apart to take the iron out. Sometimes, you know, a straight vertical heat cert is not called for. So what I was working on, I think it was a Reaper. They have some angled heat inserts on there, and so I took the iron out of it to put those angled inserts in, and I lost one of the T-nuts on it. So I just used some hex nuts, but when I tightened it down, like one of them got wedged in the damn 2020. So I screwed up. So we'll just do it by hand going forward. Hey, Clown Hammer. I suppose you could preload all your heat sets now. Yep, thinking the same thing. What are the rest of them? So that is two of those parts. We might as well go ahead and do that. It's not the most exciting thing, but it does give me a chance to just talk to you all. Let's get the rest of these parts out. Let's do all of them. All right, so these are my XY. I don't see anything in here. What do we got? Aaron, where do we put the rest of these heat inserts? Looks like maybe one there in the back of this part. This is my power supply cover. Don't see any in there. One on the big one. So there's this guy here, right? So we could do that guy. All right, so that one's good. What else? All he says are modeled in CAD, so find the part you want to see. Yep, tracking that. Just taking the easy road here. CAD is fantastic, but you do have to hide a lot of things to see the stuff you want. I'm looking at the back of, so these guys here looks like these two, and then that's the front, so nothing in there. This is the front, so nothing in there. So that one there. So you got 2 on this one and 2 on this one. There are ones on the XZ lower parts. We'll get back to that one. I didn't see anything immediately, but could be that I missed it. Got my iron at 260. That's just right about in the mid-range of this filament as far as when it likes to melt for printing. So I figured having the iron right about the same temperature would work well. So far, so good. This is also glass fiber ABS, this orange. And I like to rub them on the desk to really make sure they're flat. You want to see the inside of the part? What part? Can you flip those parts around? These here? Is that what you're looking for? The X joints in orange. Want to see the inside? Those are an older revision. Oh, great. Yeah, I just printed these on like Monday or Tuesday. So will they not work since they're older? Because these are the other side of it. So do I need to print new fronts and backs for XY? I mean, they look like the one in the CAD. The square nuts are thicker than the ones that you use. I'll be fine. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm giving up on non-GF. Keep getting warp and failures. Yeah, that's one of the benefits of it, Nomad, is that having glass fiber filament, you get less warping, if any at all. And that tends to help keep things flat. So what else do we have? So this is the... Looks like we have 2 right there. Sounds like I'll be good. What are the changes, though? I'm curious. What are the changes for the XY axis? For the joiners? Did they just remove the detail for the extrusion? Like, when I say detail, I mean like this little thing here. That part. Those 2 are for Pinda. This one? Yeah. This here. Again, I could do PZ probe. I have the parts. I'm actually using it on my Switchwire. But again, I think having things just use all normal parts is a good way to go. I mean, if you really recommend using the, what's it called, PZ probe, then I can do that. Need 2 in the front of that. 2 in front of this. Yep, there you go. These 2 here. And the same on this one here. That's one thing I don't like about printers having horizontal holes. They always come out oval. So these actually install this way, right? And I need the 2 heat inserts there on each part. Good catch. Did not see that. But I always miss 1 or 2. Shall I jump on a voice call with you? I mean, you can. Good morning, Steve. Thanks for being here. We're doing a Prusawire today. We're taking an old Mark 3S and making Ella's project a reality. Just doing a little bit of heat sets. Ella, I don't know that I could do a voice call right now, without, because I'm not on Discord. I'm streaming through YouTube. So it depends on how you want to do a voice call. But I think I'll be fine. I mean, if it's just a few changed parts or whatever, I can reprint stuff between now and next stream, and it's not a big deal. But yeah, if you would like to jump on next stream, Ella, and like talk about the project and maybe answer questions from folks in chat and stuff like that, I'm down. We can figure out a way to make that happen. All right. So I know this one has a few. So these two here on the outside. Yeah, it is easier to talk than to type. I think that's correct to put these here. Aaron said everything looks good. Yeah, I didn't realize until I picked this up this morning, this particular part, that there was an integrated filament sensor in the back plate. So like right here, I don't know if you can kind of see down in there on the camera very much, but just inside there's a space for an end stop and a ball to trigger filament. So that's pretty cool. I've forgotten about that until this morning. What else? This part here, the back side of the stealth burner, I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4. You added one, it's not stock. No, I appreciate it. I prefer a filament sensor. If you had not added it, I would have printed the mod parts for it anyway. There are a ton of different mods out there for things like a stealth burner. Oh, that's still hot. It just makes it easier to put a box turtle on it, right? You could be available on Saturday if needed. Yeah, I appreciate it, Aaron. I can reach out to you if you just want to talk about the project or whatever. I don't know that I like need help or anything like that with understanding the great work that you all did. But if you want to shoot the breeze a little bit, talk projects, we can do that. I'm usually out here on Saturdays as well. I was out here tearing down this printer and then tearing down my Ender 3 for the next thing. So just getting things ready to go. So if I'm out here anyway, it's easy to jump on a call. And then that one there is always forgotten. You have this one on the edge. I think during my Switchwire build, that's also running a stealth burner toolhead on it. This is the one that I forgot. It's like you don't expect one to be right on the edge like that. But that's the one that holds the door cover closed. So if you don't do that and you try to close your door, there's no heat set there. That's how I figured it out. I think that's it on that. What else do we have? So nothing on the face. Nothing on the cover. I feel like I'm good. I feel like that's everything. What's this? Not that. Here we go. Got a couple on this block. There are 2 on the side of the plate. 2 on the side of the plate. Got the one. I don't know where the other one is on the side you're talking about. The Y rod holders at the front have some. Y rod holders at. Got it. We'll get there. So I found the tool head block, and there are 4 here. This must be a little bit older of a part as well. I just feel like I don't know what this diameter is for these heat inserts, but I felt like that one, the heat insert there is either a little bit larger than what's it called, a 4, or the hole is slightly small. It just felt like a lot of plastic to get through. Yeah, these should be 3 by 4 by 5 heat sets, the standard heat set that we use for everything these days. Not a bad thing, just something I noticed. I mean, I'm not getting extra squish out of the hole or anything like that. Just seemed like there was extra plastic in there. That could be the printer as well. These parts are printed on 2 different machines. And so maybe one of them a little bit different on the hole size. Those are designed to be a snug fit. Great. Hey, Lego Therapy, good morning. Why am I tearing things down when you could be building them up? Well, that's what you have to do, man. You have to tear things down so that you can build them up. So I tore down an older printer that was going to be thrown in the trash, and we're going to rebuild it into something new and fresh. Hey, Gaggle, good morning. Just trying to catch up on chat a little bit. They're needing more material to move. That's a good thing. Yeah. Like I said, not a critique, not a spear, just something I noticed when putting those in just now. And I'm just moving stuff out of the way. Let's see what else we have. I need to remove this bridging there. Let's see. I know there's one in this part. This is the stealth burner arm. I don't know that I actually need this. I think I just printed it as part of the stealth burner parts. I'm going to hold off before we put heat inserts in there. I know this little guidler piece needs one. Again, just having built several stealth burners. Trying to make sure that goes in flush there. That one. And you said the Y rods. So this guy here. Not seeing any heat inserts on this one. This guy needs one in here. Trying to find ASA GF orange. Good luck, Nomad. Good luck. I think Bamboo has some. Bamboo Labs. But they may be sold out of orange. Yeah, I'm not seeing any Y rod holders that need heat inserts. That's the right. I mean, again, unless I didn't print them, which is totally possible. I should have built a list of parts in Excel so that I knew what I printed and what I didn't. I failed to do that. Oh, here's one. This is a Y rod holder, right? These two here. Bigger chunky blocks. Yep, got it. Front one. I don't want to buy bamboo filament for a Prusawire. I mean, I'll be honest. I am not brand loyal per se. Like when I want certain things, and the company I usually use doesn't have it, I will go where I need to go to find the color that I want. So I'm brand loyal to the point that I will use a particular company or two or three. But if I need to venture out to get what I need, then I will. So it depends on how bad you want orange glass fiber. If it doesn't matter, then paid to be brand loyal. They literally will write your paycheck. Yeah, I got it. I got it. I think if you're able to go outside of your, I don't know what your brand contracts look like or whatever you have set up. That's none of my business. But if they allow you to get and use other filament, I would recommend that if you really want orange. So there's the 4. Let me see, a little bit more in. So there's 4 there, and then you had 2 more in the other side of this. Jesse, ABS, GF. I agree. It should be a thing. I don't know what they're doing over there. I have several spools of Jesse PLA that I had for a while now. It's good filament. It doesn't work well in my AMS though. Number one, the spool is too big, so I have to re-spool it. And these are older ones, right? These are the cardboard spools. I have a couple of their plastic spool stuff. The plastic one works most of the time, but I have to keep the cover open because it's really tall. The diameter of the spool is really big. So that's how I got it to work. But the cardboard one, no matter what I try, it jams. And I don't know if that has to do with filament diameter or something in the AMS, but the new spools fit. Yeah, so maybe that's what it is. Just the older spool that I've had for, I don't know, 3 years or something. I just haven't found the right project to use it on. I don't print a lot of PLA. Most of what I print these days is ABS or ASA. Even if it's, you know, a decorative thing for the kids or whatever, it's usually ABS or ASA. They're destructive little things, and so if I print it out of a stronger material, I don't have to print as many. The new plastic ones, not the old plastic. Track. Yeah, I really like what Nomad. What is their import filament? Is it called import filaments? That's a pretty cost-effective filament you guys have over there. You got some good colors too. I think a lot of the rebuild projects, because originally when I thought about this, I was going to do a bare build, and this is before I realized that the Prusawire was a thing. I was going to turn this into a bare. So I got some extra extrusions and stuff, and new thermistors and heaters and all that. I was going to replace all of the maintenance wear type items on this build. And a lot of that came from printed solid. You can just print 24/7 and the kids will never run out of toys. Right, but then I'd be encroaching on your territory. I'll leave the 24/7 printing to you. You know, I don't want to compete with you. But I do need to get into gear and start helping you out and put some of these printers to use. Dedicate them to your cause. And then that'll give me a reason to come up and visit as well. I can swing by and drop them off to you. F on PS imports? Why is that? Not a fan, Aaron? So if you like PS imports, the TPU is amazing. Get it before it's gone. Appreciate that. I'll do that after stream. I want to print TPU feet for this. I do have some orange TPU over there that I have been holding on to, and I don't print a lot of orange, I'll be honest. But when this project came up, it's the perfect option to be able to print orange. And so using up that orange TPU would fit in perfectly for this. What else do we have? I think that is it. Unless I'm missing something. Those should be all the things that need heat inserts. Feel like I'm solid there. I need to reprint this. This cover door didn't come out too well. I got a little blob there and it kind of jacked it up, so I need to reprint that. And then of course the parts that are printing right now may need a heat insert or two. I can do that after stream. Yeah, what else? Hello, I did have 95A, that's great. I didn't see that. I said the supplier is dissolved, so we can't source it. Oh, sad. Ella, I do have one question. These are the keyback type things, door closers that I got. I think these will work. I wasn't sure. I know that this looks like the part that puts the thing in there, but the mounting piece of it that mounts it to the frame of the printer, wherever I put it, I might not have printed that either. I'm gonna have to go back and double check all of this. But I think this should work, right? It'll do. Like dimensionally, it's fine. I couldn't source the one that you guys had listed in the bomb. I couldn't find the exact one, so I had to improvise. To me, this one looked very similar, and it came in a 2-pack. I think that 2-pack was, I don't know, $10 or something. And it even came with hardware to mount it into wood. And then it also had these like stick-on hook type deals. I don't know. But I thought it would work, and so I just got it anyway. What else? Anything on here? No? Alright, that should be good on all of the printed stuff. Let's go back over here and see what we can put on. 63 millimeters. Yeah, Aaron, I thought so too. It looked the same. Big and square. 2 large M5 holes. Let's check the holes. Let's see. M5s, maybe. So here it is. This is an M5. Yeah, fits. And then we said, what, 60-something millimeters? $63. Let's see. Yeah, it is about 62 and a half. 2.5 inch. Yeah. I prefer millimeters. 63. Yeah, it's about that. So I thought it would work. Thanks for confirming that. I can drop a link if you guys really want to, but these were on Amazon. Yeah, there's the part. Yeah, so that should go in there, right? Like so. Something like that. And that fits in there, so we got to be good. If it fits, it ships. Okay, these go on top of here. So I need an M10. And again, I'm going to try to use up as much of this original hardware as possible. We'll bring that out. And let's find some M10s. And a tool. You left some play. See, to the right of the Voron ESU cover. Yeah. Screw holes are for wood screws, so they're not quite M5. You can put a thread in them with a screw, it'll work fine. Yeah, it seemed like the hardware went in just fine. Let's get that on there loose. Then I gotta find some some M3 by 40s and put those in there. Look at that, first new parts going on. Big day. Big day, folks. All right, let's find some of this hardware. I think these are 40s. They have this smooth area on here as well. That might work. You would try M3 by 35s. Is it a problem that they stick out the back? Is that why we're saying that? Because it looks like the holes on this frame go all the way through. I couldn't tell in the CAD. How'd you set that up with Streamlabs? Set up what? Oh, the shout out for you? It's just a timer, Armor 3D, if that's what you're asking about. So when you are in chat, I have a timer set up to where if you're in chat, it'll say, you know, hey, go check him out. And so all the normal people that show up here who have YouTube channels, I go behind the scenes, and because I want to show love to all of you, I set up a timer to ping your channels. It'll be a problem on the left. You need shorter screws. Okay. So we need 35s instead of these 40s. That's why you were saying you needed spacers. I do have 35s. Let's see. So cool. Thanks, man. Didn't know that was a thing. Yep. So yeah, you just need to go into, I think it's under commands. And then under commands there will be I'm trying to think of the name of it. I can't think of it right now, but if you want to hit me up after stream, I can walk you through it if you need help and you can't figure it out. You gotta find some 35s. Use an M3 by 40 with a 2.5 millimeter spacer thickness. Yeah, I can do that. I also have 35s. So this one is original hardware. That's a 30. This one is also a 30. So, all right, I've got this kit of, you know, larger M3 hardware, and we need some 35s. So it's a little bit mixed up now because I keep swapping things out. That's why you see some black hardware in here and some normal silver. Some of this stuff is really long though. So those are 40s. Swear I had 35s. These are 25s. I would hate to not have the right hardware and not be able to move because of that. So this is weird. This one is a 37. So weird. Who makes a 37 millimeter M3 screw? That's a 40. This one is again, a 37. Says Lou, she didn't miss anything. We're just getting started building the Prusa MK3S Plus into a Prusawire. 37 will work great. It's going to have to, Aaron, because that's what we have on hand. So that goes through there like that. These marked left and right, or are they just mirrored? They are mirrored. Okay, so screw goes in. I'm going to build it this way. So I'm just going to put in the hardware like so, and then we'll build the bearing stacks on top of that. And then that'll allow me to just put all of that together onto the frame and screw it down. So that's my plan. I put this one in there just to hold it out of the way. We just got to find some bearings now. So in my kit O things, I definitely have bearings somewhere. Let's see what's in the tool chest here. What are these? 623s. Lots of 695s. I'll tell you that. What did I do with that? Yeah, I really thought that I had everything in one place. But I was out here messing around, cleaning up, putting things away because I created a mess over the week. Normally because I jump out here and do stuff and then walk away, leaving everything behind. Because I get about an hour in the morning before work to do things. And then once that hour expires, it's like, holy crap, I'm late. I gotta go. And I run away and leave all the stuff in place, hoping to get back to it when I get home. Doesn't always happen, and so I end up with a mess by the end of the week. Should really do better. What did I do with these? Oh man, they're all 695s. I have these different plastic cases of things and stuff, and most of it is hardware, but not all of it is the hardware I need. I know I ordered these though. All right, give me a second, folks. I gotta find this stuff. Let's see. They are keyed, test screw it to check. Always fun when you clean up, but now you can't find anything. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I cleaned up to put my bearings away, and then I don't know where they are. They have to be in this drawer, though, because this is where all of the bearing stuff is. The difference is these are smaller bearings than what I normally use. So I could have put them somewhere else because they are different. So I have the ones that have, you know, no flanges at all. But that's not helpful. And then a bunch of 695s. I feel like these are blue. I feel like they're blue because that's what I remember ordering. Where did they go? I'll find them, folks. I'll find them. Although, if you watch my streams, you would think that. I don't know, Armor 3D. You have a pretty decent setup. It seems like you have a lot of space and a large work table to build on, which is not what I have. I have just this granite countertop sitting on top of a tool chest, and that's what I use for my work table. That way, my tools are right there beneath me, and my flat plane surface is right there on top. Works pretty well for projects of the size that we're doing today. Doesn't work so well when you're building a 300mm rat rig. I had to put a folding table out to have the room to build that, and then it never went back. So I still have the folding table out, and it's just covered with crap. I need to get out here and undo that. Jeez, where did I put these things? Oh, I thought I had everything. Where did it go? All right, we're gonna break out the other containers here. All right, let's see. Your floor is so messy. After the Prusa build, anything that shouldn't be on your desk is going in a box of doom. Clean up your desk would have plenty of space too. Nomad, you got a pretty awesome desk, man. I watched you build that extrusion desk. All right, this was the box of parts that I was gonna build the bear with, and so that's what this part was for, to build that bear project. So that didn't happen. And then this is for the box turtle. And then there are a bunch of extra parts and pieces in here for box turtle. So I thought maybe those 695 bearings were in here. Yet I don't see them in this particular one. Oh, by the way, because we're doing a filament giveaway today, reminder for those that didn't sign up, I'm going to throw in one of these. So this is a Killer Prince keychain. I've got 3 of them left. And the next 3 folks over the next 3 weeks will get a Killer Prince keychain in their filament giveaway win. I don't know who has keys anymore, which is why I don't really need these keychains. But if you guys are interested, they will be in the box. This is the other Prusawire stuff. So again, these are all the parts that I was going to do a bear build with. Even have the stuff printed for that build. But now, it's not a thing. What bearings are these? These unlabeled bearings here may be what I'm looking for. Oh, these are idlers. Again, probably for the bear build that never was. Which means all of these parts that I printed, here's a new Pinda, all of these parts that I printed, and new feet, are gonna be in the garbage. Look at that, new Teflon screws, and a bunch of other parts. So all of this, talking about decluttering, all of this can go in the recycle now. I'll probably keep some of this belt, some of this other stuff in here, but these parts are going away. All right, let's try this one. Again, these are the rest of the parts that I was using for the bear. What is this? Oh, it's a nozzle brush. Here's the nozzles I was using. So there's a 0.4 Revo. There's a 0.6 Revo. I got a bunch of extra socks and whatnot for the nozzles. Finished swapping your MMU3 top hat with a PET G version, so now printing the Switchwire. Nice. Yeah, there's a MMU2 that came with this printer, thanks to Reth. MMU2 that he gave to me, and I've never even opened it. It's still in the box that he gave it to me in. So, let's see. There's a Revo Voron kit. Another one there. Here's the PZ probe. So I can do that, Ella, if you recommend that we go PZ probe. I've got a full Voron Revo there. There's another PZ probe, and then there's a high flow pack, right? So this one has the CHT stuff in here for the Revo in different sizes, and then there's a high wattage heater, a 60 watt heater in there. What else do we have? Fan covers, heat sinks. Don't need this. And then I was going to use these for my 8mm bearings, so maybe we use that. These are graphite. That way we don't have to oil them or grease them in any way. So we need that, and we need this 0.4 nozzle. Yeah, I don't know where these bearings are, guys. Feet. That stuff. Kind of running out of bins here. I don't know where it is. Again, more box turtle stuff. Not the right bearings. You go cut metal for your Duender. Hey, Clownhammer, I was doing that this morning. Do PZ. Aaron says do PZ. The whole gang is here, yeah. Robot Overlord, good morning. Feel like you lost your bearings? Yeah, Ella, me too. This is what happens. I feel very frustrated that I can't find these bearings right now, when I know that I ordered them for this project specifically. I'm finding all the bearings that I own except for the ones that I need. That is disheartening. Hey, look at that, black duck. And another one. I don't know where that came from. Oh, look at that, a whole bunch of ducks. Yeah, I don't know where those bearings are. So, how to proceed? How to proceed? Ooh, you know what? I could steal them out of the V0. Yeah, let's do that. Let's steal them out of the V0. I have this kit here. I think there are bearings in here. We'll find out. Maybe not. So I did get this kit just because I wanted some extra hardware. But this is just screws and stuff. That's no bearings. Someone has a Jeep Army starter pack. Yeah. Yep. You can go XZ motors. Not the V0. I thought Ella was telling me that the 623s are from the V0. I swear that's what she just said. I mean, unless I misinterpreted it, I swear that's what she just said. Oh, jeez, where are these things? I'm gonna find them. As soon as we get done today, they're just gonna be right in my face. It happens every time. Start something, you put stuff in places, and then you come back and it's not where you thought it was. And that is the case for these bearings today. So I think we're going to take Ella's in the interest of time and being respectful of the audience. We'll see about just starting with the Z motors and stuff. Making a joke about bastardizing kids. Yeah. Ah, dude. I know I have them though. That's the crazy part. I'm gonna check one more place. I've got a bunch of those plastic containers that lock together, and that's where I put a lot of spare parts and things, like idlers and bearings and just electronic parts. And maybe I put them in the case like they should have been, instead of just sitting around like they normally are. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That boy's good. Found them. So these are 623s out of a V0 that are spare. And I have 8, which is exactly the amount that we need for this portion. I knew I had them. Just took me a while. If I would have looked in the place that they should have been, because I actually put them away where they were supposed to go, I would have found them. All right, back on track. Let's take a look at that upper side. What you guys recall what size those washers are supposed to be? Never happens. Yeah, Havoc, I know. Never happens. Let's see, washer, M3. It just says M3 shim washer. M3 shims. Right, but what thickness, Ella? Do you have a thickness on those? Or can I just use anything? Like, can I use a 1mm? Half millimeter. I don't know that I have a half. I don't know what thickness these are. Let's get the caliper out real quick. They might be a half. Make sure it is definitely a shim and not a washer. Yeah, these are all shims. Washers as far as I understand it, right, they have like a domed side and then like a flat side because they're stamped, and shims are not stamped, and so they're flat, like on both sides. They don't have that dome section. Yeah, let's see what size this one is. Come on, I just replaced your battery. Why are you not working? All right, so these are a half. These are a half. All right, so we said goes like that. We do washer, or sorry, shim first. Terminology, words matter. And then we'll do flange down, flange up, and then we'll do 2 shims on this next one. Kept those the same as the V0. Yeah, and I appreciate it because they're easy to get to. That's the cool thing about having things all be the same as what you can find almost anywhere. It's common hardware. It makes the build a lot easier. There we go. Washer, sorry, shim, bearing, 2 shims, 2 more bearings. And so we'll go flange down and then flange up, if I can hold on to it. And then we'll do 1 more shim at the top to cap it off. And then all of that should bolt right into where we want to be. Yeah, these bearing stacks are very, I think Voron made them popular because most of the other things that I've built recently have been a similar setup with bearing stacks like that. So a bearing stack, for those not in the know, is 1 washer, 2 bearings, and then another washer on top. So it creates like a sandwich. And for me, that 37 millimeter screw that we were using, that very oddball length, it sticks out, it projects maybe a 0.5 millimeter out of the back plate. I think that's going to be fine. And then using that M10, nothing comes out the back. And things still spin nicely. So we'll build another one of those. So stealing this screw. So Lego Therapy, you're still here. What are you building on recently? They need to be flush on the back. Probably not gonna happen, Aaron. Simply because I don't have M35s or M3 by 35s readily available. And if it becomes an issue, I will, I don't know, I'll space it out or something. I'll figure it out. I still don't understand why. I don't see anything in the CAD that is in this area to where that can't come out a 0.5 millimeter. And again, I could be totally missing something, but right now I don't see it. So go screw head, shim, printed part, bearing stack. I don't understand why though. Let me take a look at the CAD. So if I look at this, I'm not seeing anything on the left side. That right there, just this part. I really don't think that 0.5 millimeter is going to impact this part's ability to be where it needs to be. I'll just be honest. Because this, to me, is just a bracket to hold the key back. So even if this is, let's say, slightly tilted, right? Slightly tilted because of that screw coming out just a touch, I could just simply drill a hole into the back of this part, and that would make it work just fine. In fact, what I would recommend to the team, if, let's say, like that hole right there, right? If you just put a little recess in there so that this screw can stick out like another 2 millimeters or whatever, so that we do not impact this part. I think there's some meat here to make a hole, so that way you're not worried about it, if that makes sense. I would just modify this blue part with a hole, because other folks are going to run into the same thing. The CAD says this is a 40, but a 40 is not going to work, is what I'm hearing. And so that just projects into, you know, this portion here a couple of millimeters. I think you don't ruin the integrity of the part. Two more shims here. Another flange down, flange up, and then one more shim on top. Like that. Mark III and Mark IV frames are slightly, yeah, I agree. They're probably, so the Mark IV is thicker, is what I'm hearing. Which probably helps with rigidity and things like that. This part was designed over a hackathon weekend, and I did on the run up to release. It's very overbuilt. No, again, not a spear, just a recommendation to make quality of life change. I love that it's overbuilt. I like a beefy, you know, printer, something that looks strong and all that. I'm just talking about like to save some headache for folks that may not have the experts on the team. I'm very fortunate to have a platform to be able to have you guys on and talk through it and guide me. So those look good. Those are actually correct as well. So the open space, there's a large open space on the outside of this. These should be to the outside so your belts can come up and in, come through and across. You get them swapped, it's not going to work out well. They are keyed, so you should not be able to swap them, but people do weird things. You like a beefy woman that's kind of like a printer. I don't mind a little meat on the bone. But my wife is very small. Just looking at this, is there supposed to be a heat cert here? I think, Aaron, you mentioned that earlier. I just noticed that when I picked this up. There should be a heat cert here, right? Ella won't need Killa to remove those parts. All right, let's do a couple heat inserts here. There's supposed to be one, yeah. Got it. So we'll just add a couple. I always forget a few. No matter if I have a super cool manual or not, there's always like one or two that I miss. It's probably because I don't read very well. Honestly, I sort of quickly read, skim per se to get the highlights. As long as I get the intent of what's going on, I don't feel like I need to read the entire thing. And that's a bad habit of mine. All right, so 2 heat inserts there. 36 watching, 19 likes. Come on, guys, let's get to 100. I love it, Nomad. Nomad's the guard dog in the chat. All right, so at 69 minutes, we usually do the giveaway. We are over that time. I'm going to give you guys one last reminder to get into the giveaway if you want free filament. And then here at 9:15, so in 15 minutes, we're going to take a look at who's going to take home some free filament today. He doesn't read very well. He just has photographic. Yes, you're not wrong. I'm very good at seeing something once and sort of filing it away in the memory bank. Reading it over and over does not reinforce what I already have read. Cool. So these both go here. So swap this way. And those bolt on to this somehow. like that, like that. But I need to put motors on first. Is that correct? You made me nuts with that in our tech school days. Dude, I'm still that way. Hey, Raj D, good morning. Good morning, Steve Machado. If you had a frame, you have all the Mark 3S parts from my upgrade sitting in a box, but can't find a frame. Steve Machado, these frames you could probably just get laser cut yourself from any of the laser cutting people that you wanted. It wouldn't be engraved with Prusa and you wouldn't have your stickers. But you could get these 3 parts laser cut and then get yourself some 30-30 cut to length. And that's how I would do a frame. Otherwise, you could maybe just get the frame from Printed Solid in the US. I think they have replacement parts. I think they have a frame. So there's a way to do it. Motor's going on after. Okay. M3x10s into the frame. Let's do it up. Ella's keeping me on task. Ella, I'll tell you, I get off on tangents quite a bit. I know this is your first time here, but expect to have to rein me in. Ooh, those fit nice and tight. I like that. Uh-oh. Dropped it in the frame. I'm going to do some frame covers on these here. I hate that filament gets down inside the frame and then you end up with little, bits of junk in there. Is it just the 2? And then these 3 or 4, this other part. Yeah, like this. Printed Solid has replacement parts. Also have 2 spare Mark III frames. Nomad, if we can get you connected with Steven Machado, maybe you guys can work out a plan for that extra frame, assuming you don't need it for a project. And Nomad, if I'm honest with you, I wouldn't mind having another frame, doing another build, one of these, and just have these be like workhorse machines. Like I said, I did build a Switchwire. I have not used it very much at all. I generally don't like the centerless homing on it. The Y-axis is not as reliable as I wanted it to be. And I just put it on a shelf after that and haven't worried about it. I really should use it. It's the printer I won at Vice last year. I built it in about a week, got it going, did a test print, got a serial, used it a little bit, but again, that Y-axis was driving me nuts. And I just didn't revisit. I know that there's a way to do a Y in stop. Some folks have made some mods and whatever. But my Switchwire, I chose to get fancy. It's got CNC parts on it. So that Y-axis, I would hate to undo the work of the Y. So going into metal, I can snug these up a little more than I normally would if I were going into plastic. But still, don't go crazy. You don't want to crack your parts. No protrusion out the back, which is awesome. Oh, what did Aaron do now? Let's see. You need to attach the motor first. And then Ella said no. Aaron, she's going to kill you, man. Yeah, because I think looking at the CAD again, when I see this motor, it sticks out the front. So it probably mounts to this orange piece first, and then the orange piece mounts to the part. Let me verify that. Motor hide. Yeah, so all of the hardware goes through the orange piece or red piece in here. And then she says, there's 3 screws on each motor mount plate. Yep, very similar to the Switchwire. It does show 4 in the CAD though. There's 3 screws on the plate, so there's this lower one here. So I need to do that one on both sides, and then 4 into the mount, with 1 going into the plate up top, and that one is a top one is a M3x20. And then these down here are M3 by 30s. All right. We'll have another one go here, I believe. So at the edge of that circle in the part. And that keeps things from twisting. You have 3 points that you're using for mounting, which is great. And then because things are in glass fiber anyway, you get some rigidity there. So very good design for the motor mount. Also very good for the rod holders too. Probably should have put those rods in there now that I'm thinking about it. But I also don't have the gantry. So I think what I'll do is just get those on. Just imagine there are rods here. We should have a gantry built that we can slide on those rods. But what I'll do when I get that piece is just remove these here. That should be pretty easy. Put the rods in, put the gantry on, and then put the top pieces back on. So that'll be my process. I'm going a little bit out of order here just simply because I don't have that extrusion that I need. So I'll cut that down after stream today. We should be good to go. Let's see, the black plate. What are we saying? The black plate what? There should be some M3 by 30 in the back. M3 by 30 in the back. Oh, okay. So I should have put those on before mounting all of these plates. I see. Yes, you are correct. I missed that. So the hardware actually gets trapped by the motor. Okay, so here's the question then, right? So this goes this way, this goes like so, and that's the wrong side. This side goes like so. That hardware comes through. What? It comes through here and then through here into the motor, so I'm able to access these from the backside. I see what you're saying. I got you. So we need M3 by 30s in here. And let's see, do I have that? I want to say we said these were 40s. You can put them on after, don't stress. Not stressed, just forgot. I think I need to have these on first, though, on this orange part. These I can put on after. I thought you meant that I messed up. I didn't see the holes on the back there. I thought they went in first, but then I was thinking in my brain, too. I was like, well, then how do I tighten them if they're trapped by the back plate? I see. You can access them from the backside. All right. Yeah, chat has a little bit of a delay. So like when you tell me a thing in chat and I see it, I don't necessarily get it in the amount of time that it would take. I don't hear it real time. All right, I know I have 30s in this small kit, so let's pull out some 30s. Maybe I don't have 30s in this small kit. Let's see, where are my 30s? All right, so this looks like 30, 35. Yeah, generally I don't like using this black hardware because it tends to rust over time. Out here, we're not in a very humid climate at all, but this steel hardware, this uncoated hardware, is not the ideal candidate. I've slowly started swapping over to stainless everything, which is why you can see a mix. This is just random hardware that I've taken from other printer builds and just kind of consolidated it into a small thing. But really what I need to do is just go through and purge all of the old steel hardware and replace it. I haven't done it yet because, man, that sounds solid. like this part, like putting that hardware through there, it sounds like I'm putting it through a steel part. But I don't like throwing hardware away just because, like you see right now, I need to use it for this project. So I'm glad that I have it. Before you put the orange part on the motors, do the pulleys with the printed tool. Good point. There is the motor there. This is the original X. This is the original Y. I don't have another bit of cable sleeve like that. I did get some red stuff, although the red doesn't really match the theme we have going on. And so I don't want to use that. So I think I'll just keep this on here for now. I'll get some orange. I did see some orange, and I'll cover these in orange sleeving, and that'll really clean it up and make it look nice. The E motor is used for Z. Does it make a difference? Are they the same? I thought that we would use X and Y for the XZ, and then use the extruder, the old extruder motor for the Y axis. They're identical, so it's cool if I use the X and Y. The Y stays as Y. Right, but if I want to use, so here's my thing, right? These motors poke out this way, and this is a me thing, not in anybody else. But they look the same to me, right? If I took this one away and I put that one there, like the wording is different. Like it's clearly different. So to my OCD eyeballs, this mismatch will drive me nuts. So I would prefer to do it that way. That way they look the same. That way they look the same. The only difference is, Y axis, X axis. Yeah, I'm with Robot Overlord. Like, yeah, spec wise they're identical. I got it, and that's why I was like, I'm pretty sure I could do this and not do that. I looked up all the motors to make sure of what the amperage and stuff was, and so I feel good about doing it this way. My OCD needs it to be this way, so I'm gonna go that way, unless there's a reason I can't. Again, that's me being me, but that's how I am. Okay, so this is the Z side. It is keyed, right? You need the hole here to go like that to go into the heat insert that we have on that side. But before we do that, we got to do 2 bits of hardware here. And then I think I'm gonna have my wiring go to that side like that. That way when it's mounted, it comes under the printer. Yours had matching QR codes on both X and E. Must be the machine had a newer motor at some point. You're keyed M3 by 20. Got you. Thank you. Glad I'm not the only one. BB3D. Yeah, it depends on what it is. If I'm not going to see it, I tend to mind a little less. If it is visible in my face, I tend to mind a little more. The real question is, who cares about it being vertical like so, or if it's tilted like so? This gives me a more straight path to the electronics, but this looks better to the eye. So I'm going to do mine this way. I think there's enough slack to do that. It doesn't make a huge change, but Mark IV motors change up the QR codes. Yeah, these are identical QR codes on my motors, at least. I scanned both of them before stream. The E extruder motor, that one is a little bit different. And so I was going to use that one for Y. Either way, this goes like so. On the front here, that. And we need 2 bits of hardware going through here. Ella said they are 3 by 20. 20s are very common size. So if you are building, you could get heat sinks and stick. That's true. I do have a couple of heat sinks right down here in my motor drawer. When I say motor drawer, it's a literal drawer full of motors. I've got these heat sinks that I got from Bondtech. The reason I got them from Bondtech is because they come with that thermal pad on the bottom, and I know they're pretty good. But I do have this set I could use. I don't plan to run them that hot, so I don't know that it's great. And then also, if you think about it, most of your heat doesn't come through the bottom of your motor. It comes from the sides of your motor. So if you're going to use heat sinks on your motors, they realistically should be on the hottest part, which is the outsides. Yeah, Ella, that's my experience too. They don't do much. Hey, Projects in Dad's Garage. Your e-motor is older, but it's still good. Yeah, I'm planning to do a stealth burner, so I'm not gonna use this per se. I do have another Switchwire motor that I could use. The only problem is that the Molex connection is not the same, and these are not replaceable motors. So I would need to cut this, splice it, or steal this Molex connector. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna do that yet. It'll be fine. It just won't be fast, and that's okay. You have a motor box, motor drawer is cooler. I don't know if it's cooler. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see it or not. I don't know that my shot goes out that far. But if I pull out this drawer down here, you can kind of see here. Let me show you. Let's turn this off. You can see all the motors that we have down here. Some NEMA 14s for an all-wheel drive build, and about half of this is 2504s. The other half are like the small NEMA 36s, and then I have I've got some extra, fat motors over here. These are the ones that we stole from the Second. These have the open loop. I'm sorry, the closed loop drivers on them. But these are 1 amp motors. So we could use these on there, but I don't have the connection. So still in the same boat. So that's a thing. But yeah, I build a lot of stuff. So I get motors on sale when they go on sale, and I stock up on the things that I use the most. Cool. M3x20s. It's hard for me to get my hands down into the box, so I always use tweezers. These have the tips broken off of them anyway, so I can't use them as tweezers as much as I would like. They're pretty blunt and dull, but they're great for getting down into the box to pull out some of that hardware that may be a little smaller. I'm just measuring these because none of them are labeled. I literally just took it apart and put common items into common places, but they may be a few millimeters off. So like those are 16s, they're not 20s. Again, 16s. There's two 20s right there. Build so far, Projects in Dad's Garage is pretty cool. I like it. Pretty straightforward. You can build a Voron, which I know you can. You also build a box turtle and a Micron for that matter. So if you can do all that, you can do this. You just need a Mark III or a Mark IV. So if you could pick one up on Facebook Marketplace for, a really good price, throw 2 kilos of filament at it. Use everything. Like I plan to use the original controller, all the original motors, the original PSU, all of it, and some hardware. So $100, you can probably get all of this and do the things, plus whatever it costs you to get the printer. Pulley first. Yep, forgot. Pulley first. Let's see. That's what happens when I talk. All right, Ella, thanks. I just caught up on your message. You're heading out of here. Thank you for hanging out. It is a Prusawire Thunder Keys. It will be a Prusawire. Right now, it's a frame of a Mark III's. Okay, pulleys. I've got 20 tooth and I've got 16. what should we use? 20 is the easiest. That's what's common. I don't know of a benefit one way or another to having 16 tooth pulleys. That's just been on my mind recently because the second cube that we just worked on uses 16 tooth pulleys. I've got 2 silver ones. I've got 2 black ones. These black ones are 16 tooth though. I mean, we're not going to see them anyway. I feel like we should just use these silver ones. It is CoreXZ, Reth. Just think Switchwire, and it's the same thing as a Switchwire. It's just made on a Prusa Mark III frame. I'm hearing the H2D making noise over there, but I think it's just the cable chain. Okay, let's make sure that these are going on the correct way around. Looks like the pulley, the hub, it goes up. So normally it'd be this way, flip it upside down, goes on like so. So verified that in CAD just now. Oh, the belt's just at bad detention. I think they use the same thing. So this is the part for the tensioning. It does look like things are bolted through this way. So if this is the carriage, let's see. If this is the carriage, like so, I think this is the stock Switchwire carriage, just modified a little bit to accept the slightly longer belt path here, or sorry, the slightly spaced out belt path. But I want to say, yeah, it's the same kind of structure. Use apex clips, same as on Voron Phoenix. Okay, I missed that. The steel was the LDO Switchwire Rev C kit in November for $400. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. If you can get this Thunder Keys for, you're saying $250 near you. If you can get this, so my buddy just picked one up for $100. He got a Mark III for $100. Another $100 in parts, pulleys and whatever you want to do to it. I'd still say that might be the better deal. But yeah, I would, if you can get a Mark III for $200 or less, it makes sense to get the Mark III. Otherwise, the Switchwire may be the better deal. It's enclosed. It is built for Clipper. The motors are able to handle a little more, and it comes with a pie. So cost-wise, you'd have to price it out. That's not the right one. I'm not going to Loctite these just yet. I'm just going to place them on here. And then once we get belts tensioned and all that jazz, we can make some adjustments to where these are to make sure the belt path is straight. And then while we're doing that, we can add some Loctite to it. So they're just on there snug. Actually, I'll make them just slightly loose so I can slide them as we're doing belt pads or whatever. So with some pressure, I can move that, but it's not just going to fall off. Let's see. Sad to say, even a clone Mark III. Yeah, even a clone Mark III would work here. And then the one on this side pulley is the other way around. So this is my Y. This actually needs to be this way. So on your Z-axis side, on the right-hand side, you want your pulley this way. And then on the opposite side, you want your pulley the opposite way around. So hub up. So, and that's already seems to be tensioned where it should be. Maybe slightly more. Just to have one of the screws on the flat of the motor. These pulleys came off of another project as well. So again, just reusing hardware I had in stock. Literally the only thing I bought for this is new 10mm rods and some bearings. Just because it's a well-used machine anyway, and replacing those is just going to make sure it lasts for that much longer. Everything else is stuff I had in stock. printed tool would help get the spacing correct. You're talking about this one? This one here? Yeah, so Z is on this side. This one here, we could do like so. And again, I'm not gonna, firmly put it there, but using the tool should get me in the ballpark. Pretty dang close. And then I always try to go back if possible. If I can access the screws later, I will do that after we put the motor on. And that's when I Loctite, is when I'm ready to be done with it. But I tend to do that after tensioning and everything else. Putting that on there. Two things: you don't want to crack the plastic, and you don't want to strip out the threads in the motor housing, because you have a steel screw going into aluminum. So just make sure it's snug on there. You don't need to crank on it. And then that all goes together on the screws that we had in place. And the longer M3x30s that we had in first should thread into the motor housing and hold that. See it. There it is. All right, Logotherapy. Thanks, man. Appreciate you coming by. Yeah, everything is getting there. We're growing. We're doing the things. Got a lot of people in chat. So I'm happy about that. Oh, also, you guys let me forget about the giveaway. Let's see. Well used, you mean well abused? Hey, printers are meant to be abused. That's why they make replacement parts. And again, I will always say this. Thank you for letting me have this. The school really loved it, and I put that motor on upside down. Such a dummy. That's gonna bother me. We'll fix that right now. The school loved it from when they had it, and then, I guess it's fate that it came back. So thanks again. Yeah, that's totally gonna bother me being upside down like that. I don't know why I did it that way. It's cool to watch this because you're professionally trained on building Mark IVs. Well, yeah, because now you get to see exactly how your user base may do things. I'm probably a little flawed, though. Don't take me as a perfect example here. I have built quite a few things, and so I think I know how things go together, so I just do stuff. But that doesn't mean it's the correct way to do it. I know we're still working on the manual. That'll be nice. Sorry you didn't sticker fly the frame more. No, it's okay. I got plenty of stickers to sticker fly it with. Actually, what did I do with it? I moved it. Dang it. Oh, here it is. We're gonna put this one. We're gonna put this one right here. You stick out the top a little bit. You're too tall. So maybe we put you there. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Oh, I got it. We will make a specific plate that clamps onto there, and then we'll put this on top of that. And that way it'll always be branded like it should be. I love how you guys say what in the chat with no H in there. This reminds me of like I don't know, like an old grandma lady or something. What? I think it's very funny. All right, what's this screw in the front here? I think we said that was a 20. What is this one? Yeah, it's a 20. The one that goes through this front orange piece is 20 here. I need 3 of those. Let's move some parts out of the way. Luckily, this desk is just big enough to do this kind of stuff. It's another 16. That 16's mixed in with 20s, and that's annoying because they are just about long enough to look the same, but just too long to be the same. Might need some more 20s. I'll find some 20s somewhere. What is this? Way too long. 30. It's like a 22. 22. All right, we got to find some more hardware. What CAD viewer? The CAD viewer is an online fusion, Brett. So if you go to the Prusawire project on printables, they have a link to a fusion Chrome link, and that's what it is. It's just Fusion Viewer. I can show you real quick. So here, it's just the link to Fusion from the Prusawire page. Very weird way of unbuilding a printer. Napping, you're not wrong. We unbuilt it yesterday, and today we're building it back up. Today's conversion day. All right, here's a 20. Goes in like so. And this just goes into that heat insert that we put into that part. So you don't want to put too much stress on there, or you're going to pull out the heat insert, which means you got to reprint the part and disassemble everything. So be careful. All right, next one. Same deal. This is the X-axis. So again, using the tool, this one goes a little bit lower. Just pressing that down on the tool gently, not forcing it. I'm just getting it in there to where it's snug. On both of these. Gets us in the ballpark again. We'll adjust that later. Not going to make the same mistake here. We want the motor sitting this way with the words going up. Means this part's going to go like so. And the flies are back. Driving me nuts. Landing on my legs and stuff. 20s through here. Stream says unbuild still. Yeah, it's okay. So what happens is we will stream, and then I go back and I edit the video to be more about things and stuff. So I'll go back and change it later. All right, that is that way. This goes through. So, and then we put another 20 through there. Hold that one on. Tighten these down. Trying to keep it even a little bit, you know. So again, you're going through plastic on this. Don't get crazy. Like that, and then we can finish putting that one into just a snug. Okay. There's that. We've got both motors on now. And these will go underneath the printer like this. And then the controller will be over here. So this will kind of fly back that way. We'll have to do some cable management on it. That should be good for now. All right, what's next? Can we do just tighten it until you hear a crack and back off for a turn? Yeah, and then reprint. So you get your print hours up. All right, what do you guys say we give away some filament? We're at the just over 2 hours. Normally I would have done this 20 minutes ago. So if you're here, we'll take a little break. If you're here and you haven't entered the giveaway, I need you to do so now, or you're going to be left out. It's like a lot of blanks. So let's see. We have, looks like a few of you. Yeah, somehow the form put a bunch of blanks in here. So I am deleting all the blanks. And then we'll get it going. So you have, if you haven't entered yet, you have about 2 minutes to get in there while I'm cleaning up things behind the scenes. So get in there if you want some free filament. What is everyone's favorite filament, by the way? I've got a lot of different brands and types and things and stuff just because I like it. But curious what other folks are using. Cybertech says ABS, Add North. Okay. I've never used Add North, Nappin. What makes it good? Polymaker. I use a lot of Polymaker, Jeff. Cody says ASA. Nomad is Jesse. I think contractually you have to say that. Polymaker for Cybertech. Stratasys. I was about to say, like, who prints 2.85 anymore? I use a lot of Ambrosia. As you can see behind me, there's a lot of Ambrosia up here. Off to that side, that's my Polymaker shelf over there, and there are roughly 30 or 40 kilos of Polymaker over there, simply because they have the most variety of colors. Thunder Keys is Ambrosia. Yep, expected. Whatever works. Where's affordable? Yep. Jesse Transparent Pet G is the bomb. Okay, I've never tried that. Lurk and White Hangout. Well, Petty, you better get in the giveaway. You're not in there already. I'm seeing 25 people in right now. Breath Prince 2.85 will make a comeback. Just wait and see. Maybe it does. If it does, you're already prepared. For PLA, whatever you find cheap, whatever's free. All right. Polymaker and Ambrosia. I'm kind of that way. That's how I ended up with so many like one-off sort of things. Like I'll win something or something will be on sale and I'm like, hey, I haven't tried that. So I'll go and get that. But yeah, it just kind of collects over time. So that's why we do the giveaway. This is not sponsored by any particular company. We do the giveaway to help me with my addiction. So over there, I have way more filament than I need. Up above the camera here, I have way more filament than I need. So my loss is your gain. You're helping me declutter a little bit, and you get some free filament out of it. You get so much free Jesse and Prusa. Nomad, you and I should be friends then. All right, I'm refreshing the list right now. So if you're not in there, I'm about to close this giveaway. You have roughly 5 seconds to get into the giveaway. It would be too expensive for you to send it to Sweden. Yeah, Nappin, I know. I'm trying to, so if someone were to sponsor and they ship to Sweden, aka like Polymaker, and I could ship to you, I would. All right, we're closing the giveaway. Giveaway's closed. If you're not in there, tough luck. All right, first person was GTR Dad. Last person was Jeff Keys. Got in there literally like 30 seconds ago. You refused to take part in the giveaway due to the lack of 285. I don't even own 285. The only piece of 285 I own came out of this printer, and it's nylon. They use it for the strain relief in there. That's the only 285 in the entire place. All right. Let's get everyone's usernames, and we'll get you guys in here. You have some 285? What do you do with 285? Do you actually print with it? Can you find much for a variety of 285? I don't know. You'd have to talk to Reth. Reth is the 285 guy. Give me some 285 so I can win the giveaway. Hey, we could trade. I don't have a printer that prints 285. I own 0 extruders that could even take 285. 600 rolls. Holy crap. Maybe I can use it in my weed eater. Add North has 285. That's so crazy. Your Polymaker is good. Would love to try it. Yeah. Sarah, I like Polymaker. A lot of my stuff is Polymaker simply because they have the color variety I'm after. I like unique, different colors. The black, red, blue, gray. is a little bit boring to me, so I don't print a lot of that. This is the first time I've used orange on a machine, and I don't know, I like it. Polymaker has what I need, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't use somebody else. So Fusion also does really good colors. They're just a little more on the expensive side, so I don't have a ton of their stuff. I have a little bit. What else is over there? There is some Inland. Inland is starting to branch out a little bit. They do a lot of different styles of PLA, kind of rainbow stuff. What else is up here? Pan Chroma is pretty cool. Spaghetti. If you haven't tried TH3D's Spaghetti filament, this stuff here, they have some interesting colors. But again, it's PLA and PET G. I think they have some PET G. But that stuff is pretty cool. Mostly interested in flexibles in 285. All right. I need numbers, folks. How many times are we spinning this thing? How many times are we spinning this thing? I'll tell you what, we'll do it this way. What is your favorite color? Throw out your favorite color in chat. 2.85 times. Blue. Okay. Orange, green, pink, more orange, more purple. Purple is kind of my favorite for printers. I've built like different shades, but a couple of purple printers. I've seen a lot of green. Green is my favorite actual color for most things. But the funny thing is I have not built a green printer yet. I probably should do that. Dark red, purple, blue. I think we'll go with green. Green has 5 letters. We're going to spin the wheel 5 times. Or sorry, shuffle the wheel 5 times. 1, 2, oh, that, 3, 4. Oh, hold on. Doesn't count. Don't worry about it. Doesn't count. Click the wrong button. We're gonna shuffle 5 times. My bad. Click the wrong button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. This one counts. This is the counter. Blue Galaxy. Cybertech, I would love some Blue Galaxy. Looks like John's going to take it home. Maybe. Oh, Wix Central. Edged you out, John. Wix Central, are you in chat? Tag me in chat. Setting a timer. You get 69 seconds. 69 seconds to tag me in chat. And that is so that I can see your message. Rigged. So specific. Well, yeah, you have to be specific. So I learned through my psychology class that when you put out a very like odd number, something that's not as ends in a 0 or doesn't end in a 5, people tend to remember it. And so when you give breaks to students, I instruct a lot for work. When you give breaks to students, you always have them come back from break on an odd hour. So like 10:27. And that way they pay attention a little more to getting back on time. So 69 seconds, easy to remember. Still waiting on Wix Central to tag me. You have 13 seconds. Time's up. We're going to shuffle, and we're going to do this again. Who wants free filament? Oh, Wix Central, sorry, you are gone. I need new numbers now. This time we're going to do numbers. Favorite number in the chat, not 2.85, because no one is a brute. GTR Dad says 9. He said 9 twice. 48. Seen a bunch of 9s. He did a 3.0. I'll take it. I like 9 right now. But I'll tell you what. Because the man himself made this project possible, we're going to go with Reth, and we're going to spin 3 times. 3.0 times. Sorry, shuffle. Words matter. Shuffle 3.0 times. 1, 2, and 3 in honor of Reth and him being an awesome dude. Who's gonna take it? You wrote 48 in high school. Cody? Cody, are you here? Cody Drakars? Cody, I need you to tag me in chat. Cody might be loser number 2. Timer is started. Hey, there he is. All right, I gotcha. Cody Drak. How do you say the last name? I know that's weird to say in chat, but is it Drakars version A or Drakers version B? How do you say that? Congratulations. Drag a car. Got it. So are you in my Discord at all? Version A. For cars. Got it. If you're in my Discord, send me a message. If you're not, there should be a link in the description of the video to that Discord. Or you can just find me anywhere. Okay, you are in there. Just shoot me a message. Tell me that you won today. I will get your filament out to you in the next day or so. Again, it's just a one-man show, so it's me making the label and getting it over to the very limited hour post office I have nearby. So it'll go out this week for sure. I just don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or Tuesday. Congratulations. All right, are we going back to a build now? I think so. What is next? Can we do sent and thanks? All right, man. Thanks. All right, Kegel. See you. My wife is out doing skating or something. I didn't print these feet yet, so I can't really do the feet. Probably do this y-axis here. I did print that. So I say we put that on there. That'll go that way. There should be a bearing or something through there, I think, with a pulley up top. Let's take a look at that. What is on there? That looks like a M3x20 with some more 623 bearings that I probably don't have. Why could that not be a idler? I think it could be, right? And is that a heat insert probably that goes in there? I feel like that could be an idler. I mean, 623 is fine, but if I can avoid doing teeth across a smooth pulley like that, I'd rather not. So I didn't put that one all the way through. I left it proud by about 1 millimeter or so. That way it doesn't pull it out as easily since we're going down through the top. I want to make sure that that one comes out square. Yes. I think what I'm also going to do is after I put that on there, I'm going to just put a lock nut on the bottom of that for extra insurance in case over time that does get pulled through. It's just me. Yeah, it holds the idler tracking. And I have plenty of those. So I think I can just use a tooth idler like this guy here. Because the ones that came out of the machine itself are smooth. So that's the one that was on there before. It's a smooth idler, and these are tooth. The diameter is the same. So that should work for us. And that's a 20 that goes through there. And I think I probably need some shims, top and bottom, just a guess. If it were me, I would want shims. All right, so we'll do shim, pulley, sorry, idler, another shim, and then we could put all this together. I think a 20 is probably too long. I could get away with something smaller than that. I'm thinking maybe like a 12. I think I could use a 12. Let's use up some of this other hardware here. Yeah, whatever this is, I'm going to use a, what is this? It's a 14. That's from the original printer. Yeah, that should work. That's a 14. It doesn't stick out the bottom like the 20 would. And now that prevents me from ever putting that thing on there, but it should work just fine. Could wrap a nylock nut on bottom to keep it working loose. Yeah, I could. I know I just said that and then immediately changed my mind, but yeah, we could do that. So what other things are in here? Let's see. Is there some other hardware that would be great to use up? I think those are all 16s. Yeah, so maybe a 20 is best. Just doing that with the shim and then shim on top. This goes like so. Then we could do a nylock on the bottom. All right, so I don't want to tighten that too much because I need it to spin. It could almost use 2 shims under there instead of just the one. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I think I'll add second shim. Maybe that puts it out of alignment by like a 0.5 millimeter or something. But I think it's fine. Like if it matters that much, then I can always change it. This is a pretty simple item to get to. But shim on shim sliding around sounds a little better than shim on plastic sliding around. It just felt like it was binding a little bit. I have to watch more of your videos. Got to get some chores done. All right, Sarah. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure to like and subscribe if you would, please. It helps out the channel. All right, that. And then we can throw on some... Where'd it go? Nylock nuts. So I have 2 styles. I've got one that has like a flange, and then I have one with no flange. I think for this, I'm going to use the flange. I don't know why. I like the flange for this one right now. You could switch it out for a button head for more clearance. Oh, up here on top? I don't know if I have a 20 button head. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Let's see. I've got to have a button head somewhere. Yeah, here we go. You're right. It is more low profile. I think I have some ultra wafer thin. That would give me even more. Some of those like super flathead type hardware. Got some of that somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, I just don't know if I have a 20. Let's see, the largest one in this kit is a 16, but it is a super low profile head. I think it's probably overkill, so we'll stick with the button. That's probably a little more what folks have anyway. Those wafer heads are not that common to find around. Do that. More clearance is always good. Do this and try not to drop everything on the ground. All right, so we've got all of that out. Save that guy, and then this goes in. Here we go. Right, so that's on and feels a little tight, like a quarter turn off. I want to make sure it spins smoothly, and that feels good to me. And then we could do the lock nut on there. Try to use 3 hands to do this. All right, and still spins very smoothly. Only slight amount of up and down play, which is fine, and that should be good. Good call, Aaron. That should go on there. I like this indexing feature. You have this small overhang here so that it just sits right on top of the frame like that. It's a nice touch. What are we putting in here? 10s probably. Using up all this old hardware. Get them started and then get them on. Aaron, I did see a quote reinforced Y-axis remix on the project, but compared it to the one that you guys already have in the file, this one the original one looked more beefy. I don't understand what the reinforced one does, unless it makes this lower portion here thicker. I didn't look at that, but I thought this one would be fine. Have you seen it where it cracks or breaks or anything like that? Just trying to understand the reasoning to have a quote reinforced Y-axis mount or Y-idler mount. All right, that's that. So looking to swap the Y motor location. Oh, you're trying to put it in the rear? Or I'm sorry, in the front? What do you mean? What do you mean swap it? Ooh, that's really small. Okay, so you want to put the Y motor in the front? Why? Is it just preference, or I'm just curious why put it in the front? Need to find one more pulley. These are 28. Let's do that. Actually, I've got one black one. There'll be a little mismatch. We'll use a black pulley on this. Again, just using random hardware I have. Hub side down towards the part. I'm sorry, down towards the motor. Just leaving it loose so that we can use the Y portion of the tool to give us the correct offset from the base. We'll snug that in position. Again, not tight, just snug so that we can adjust later if we need to. I'm going to orient it this way. That way the wiring's coming out towards the front. We'll be able to get to our electronics on the side pretty quick. There's some reasons you can explain offline. Okay. Dev thing. Got you. Okay. Oh, fancy black pulley. I like black pulleys for most things. Um, if you look at what 3D printer frames look like these days, they're mostly black extrusions. And so having a very stealthy build with black pulleys looks kind of cool. This is just an extra one that I had sitting around somewhere. All right, so this goes in here. We need to do our... Are there heat certs in there? Yeah, I think I need heat inserts in that one too. Iron. And we'll probably go another 20 minutes or so. And then we'll wrap up the stream. Usually like to go about 3 hours. A couple of reasons. I like to catch other streamers. That's also when my family gets up and starts moving around. They've been going roller skating. I know it's crazy, but they go roller skating on Sundays. My wife will take the girls and go around the neighborhood and roller skate with them, and then they get back around 10 o'clock. And so when they get back, that's when we do like family time and stuff. So I think 10s are going to be long enough. 10 should be. So I stream for 3 hours while they're out doing that stuff. And then, again, I like to watch other streamers. And also, it gets hot out here. This week has actually been pretty nice. I think our high yesterday was low 90s. Day before, also low 90s. But I think we only have about a day or two more of that. By the time we get to Friday, we're up over 100. It's supposed to be somewhere around 108. And then the UV index is just insane. The UV index will sunburn you in like 15 minutes. It's ridiculous out here. For our international viewers, 108 is about 42 C. All right, so that goes that way. So actually, I'm going to install it with the wiring out to the left side like this. As the mount goes on the frame, if I were to put it in this way with the wiring coming out the front, it would just kind of crush in there against that plate. So to avoid it, I'm gonna do that. There's also a small detail on the motor bracket itself here, where you can put a zip tie in there to hold the wiring. So I'm gonna do it that way, like so. Freaking hot there. Where are you at, Tin Talon? What part of the country? What state? Oh, congrats on your win last week, by the way. We just had another winner today. Another new winner. I think I can put 10s through there. I should know this because I did mail you your filament win from last week. I just forgot already. Lift this up to be able to get the thread engagement. But 10s work in this part. Texas, that's right. Northwest Texas. I was about, before moving out here in California last year, I was about 3.5 hours north of Dallas in Oklahoma there. Not a good environment. I didn't really care for that climate very much. I like Texas overall. I just wish it was about 4 states north. Snug on those. Cool. This wiring here will be able to come up, and there's a couple zip tie points on either side. So depending on how you want to do that, it'll be good. This wiring is going to be very long to go into that case. You're going to have some extra there. If I had some locking connectors like that, I could shorten that up and really make it nice, but we'll figure it out. Guess you can place it outboard, but it's not needed. Tell me about it. Here. Oh, Cody, we're in Oklahoma. I was in southwestern Oklahoma last year. This time last year, that's where we were moving from. Moved out here to California on, I think, the 22nd of August. So right about a year. Check my CAD. What's up with my CAD? My CAD doesn't have any wiring. I think you mentioned your daughter from here. No, my daughter's not from Oklahoma. Yeah, so the CAD has it going out the back, like I have it, or it goes out to the left. Oh, it's backwards. Oh, jeez. That happens. That happens. So motor goes inside the frame. Good catch. I don't know why I thought it went outside. So spinning this around inside the frame because I am making mistakes. I'm a little bit tired. I've been awake for a while. H2D just got finished with the parts that we needed for this build. Just needed a couple extra things that I forgot to do. And it's sticky. The front idler inboard, but not the rear motor. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I could have got some extra travel if we put it out the back. But good point. Good point. All right, so that'll go that way. Now we're correct. Should we do... What can we do next? Looking at this... I guess we could do PSU now. So I have the black power supply, which means the silver one we can turn off. What is this other thing here? I guess that's the other third power supply that you're allowed to have. This one here. And the way that that mounts is... It's probably the only thing I dislike about Fusion on the web is like if you misclick, it'll turn off everything. Right, so that's that. And I need this, whatever this bottom bracket piece. Where's that? Not that thing. Let's see. This thing maybe? Is the bracket only needed for the silver PSU? Because what I have is this black one. And when I turned off the silver one, this is what we got. So let's see. This is the part for the silver one. It does not seem to fit. Unless it goes this way. But that doesn't make any sense. This way? No. It's got to go like this. But this has got to be for the silver power supply, right? Black needs no bracket? Yeah. That's what I thought. So we printed this for, I guess, looks. I left the hardware in my frame because I assumed I would need it here for other things. So I guess I never needed to remove this in the first place. Is that right? So there are two cutouts on my power supply down here, and those just slide over those two screws. It's needed for the outlet, which is included in the PSU already. Yeah. Hey, Jason. Welcome in. I think I want to put some washers on here, though. I just like having washers on things. It helps to keep them from sliding around. Let's see, what do I have in here? Actually, we can reuse some of this other hardware. There are a few washers, I believe. Maybe I was just thinking there was. Yeah, I think maybe I was dreaming. We've got plenty in here. All right. Let's take that. And then put them right back where we got them. So there are slide-in T-nuts here. If you're going to self-source all the things, you could use drop-in 3030 T-nuts, which are a little easier to come by than these sliding type. But again, this is a rebuild, so you should already have this stuff. All right, that just slides down over those. Just line them up a little bit. Like that. And then I think this mounts to the frame itself as well. So sliding that up against the frame. And there should be two screws or something that will do this. Oh, Jason, you're doing a Prusawire too? That's cool, man. How far along are you? I'm just getting started. I did. Is there holes here to mount this? I gotta look. Let's look at CAD real quick. 2 M3s and 2 M4s. Okay. Yeah, these 2 M4s right here. Jason, how far along are you on your Switchwire? So for me, I need to raise this up a little bit. So luckily I didn't snug that down too much. So we can adjust this up. I would say put your M4s in first before you do your M3s snugly. Have the XZ gantry installed and belts run. Just having an issue with the belt clips. Uh-oh. Anything I should worry about? I'm doing a Switchwire. Sorry, not a Switchwire. A stealth burner tool head. I'm just keeping it stock as stock can be. Just how Ella designed it. And I want to make sure that I don't have any more surprises. Somehow I lost my 623 bearings today and had to find those, and that took a little bit of time. But if there anything else that I need to worry about, it'd be great to know that before next week. Those button heads will stick out. Yeah, that's fine. That's what came out of it. Should they be flush? These are the ones that were installed with it. I mean, those button heads are, that's how it came. Belt clips are binding with the friction from the belts. Uh-oh. That's not good. Yeah, this CoreXZ stuff, like, it took me some adjustment to get my Switchwire going. It uses the similar belt pathing here And if you don't have things exactly right, it's going to skew it one way or another. You can't get them all the way in. Interesting. Check the Discord. Yeah, I'm definitely going to jump in there and do a little more research about any changes in mods. I did see that on the printables page, you guys had made some updates. I want to say 2 days ago was the last update, but I couldn't figure out what you actually updated. If possible, it would be helpful to have a change log on that project so that we know what has changed. And that way, if I need to print a new part or get a different length of screw or whatever for the bomb, like I would know that beforehand. That would be super helpful. Again, just a suggestion. What else can we do here? No, I can't do gantry stuff. I can't do belts. Let's see. Can we do electronics box? I think so. I did not put heat inserts in there though, so I'll need to do that. This is that, and looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heat inserts in the Einz Rambo case. Feedback and heard and be implemented. Cool. Yeah, I'm glad we all get to hang out and do this together and talk about it, because it's one thing to plan it when you have an idea. It's a different thing to build it and run into things and stuff. So I appreciate you guys being so receptive of feedback. Trying to make the project as good as it can be, because I think it's an awesome project. GitHub is also, yeah, GitHub is good. But GitHub is a little less approachable for folks. Like putting it on printables is probably the most approachable way to do it, especially if you want people to actually find the project. That's the downside with GitHub. If you put your project there, only if you know to go to it will folks find it. Having it on these larger STL hosting sites gives you the advantage of more eyeballs. A little more there. Thanks for great content. Gotta run. Hey, Jeff, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming by. We will be here next week finishing up, hopefully. If not, getting pretty close to being done. This project's not that difficult. So hopefully you can make it next week. Mint both GitHub and STL. Yes, tracking Cody. I think there's benefit to both. But again, people are people, and they prefer not to go to 2 different places to find information, if at all possible. So again, to make the project streamline, like having some sort of change log on the Prusa site would be great. Not required, but would be great. Cool. And then nothing on the cover, so the cover goes thusly. Like that. Very cool. And then I'm seeing 2 cutouts down here, so I imagine that slides down on there. And then you have some cabling that comes out on this backside here. I don't know that I have any. So I have 3030 T-nuts in stock, so I could do that, but I was just making sure that none came with the kit. All right. How does this mount? Well, I've got the 2. These here are going to be T-nuts, probably. And this just goes into plastic. Oh no, there's T-nuts on the backside. Or sorry, heat certs on the backside. Rev management is rather difficult. I agree. That's why I said it's a nicety, not a requirement. Automated updates between them would be for sure the best way to make the most happy. However, printables first make the absolute most sense for a project like this. I wish there was a way to have them talk to one another, but even if you had like, what is it? I use GitHub Desktop, which can notify you of changes of all of the different GitHub projects that you follow with. So it makes it really easy to pull in the changes to your own PC. But even that doesn't do multiple at the same time. So I have to go one by one and update every repo and pull in every repo with the changes. And I wish they made that a little nicer too. So trying to do that with a online hosting site, I don't know if they would allow anybody to get into their back end like that to be able to pull data. Install the housing on the frame, then install the Rambo in the housing. Yep, that was the plan. Just for access to all the hardware. I needed to see how things were installed though. At first I didn't notice that these were heat insert holes on the back side of this. I love that it is though. I much prefer this over the hex nut or the square nut method that Prusa continues to use. I know that's their design language and whatnot, and that's what they prefer. But I much prefer the heat insert method. So yeah, this will go on the frame first, and then ow, shit, that's still hot. Burn the crap out of me. All right, I just need to find two things, and we can put that on there. So hardware, where are we at? 3030 T-nuts are right here under all of the bins that I pulled down earlier. So let me just move a little bit of things and stuff and find some 3030 T-nuts. They're gonna be M3 T-nuts, by the way. Pretty sure I have some. If not, I know that Ella had some printable versions in the project. I knew that I had some of these around, so I'm gonna use some drop-in T-nuts like this. You can print them. The printable versions that she has take M3 hex nuts in the backside, and they work the same. These are metal and a little more durable, so I'm gonna go with that. Let's see, we can probably use some 10s here as well. Again, using up some of that older hardware. That's like a 12 or something. That's not the right size. Again, too big. No, you're good, Aaron. Thanks for hanging out, man. Laundry's important. That goes in like so. That one goes in. And then we'll just do the same process as we did with the power supply. This is gonna just slide down over. I forgot to put washers on there. Washers on top of plastic just help the screws slide instead of like digging in and grabbing the plastic part. So if you can, and there's space to do so, adding a washer between the head of the screw and the plastic part just helps it. And then also, it gives you a larger surface area than the socket head screw provides. The only other way to do that is to get like a button head screw, which you could totally do here. But the washer allows things to slide, so I prefer that. Just doing those up a little bit, and then we'll slide this on. Get it behind the washers you put on, otherwise it doesn't matter that you put them on there. All right. So put that on. I'll do these up a little bit so they grab and hold the case in place. That doesn't look right at all. This is not down all the way. There we go. Started to lean forward. So just need to slide this all the way down. Why is it not going down? All right, come on. So I think what I'm gonna do, so what's happening is the gap here is a little tight for that screw to slide through there. So I need to press it in there first, and that kind of locks it on. Like so, it kind of snaps on like that, and that'll hold my T-nuts as well. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it's a nice feature to have. And then it just holds things in place, and it'll sit flat. And I'm gonna slide mine all the way up against the frame because I think that's how it is in the CAD. And so I don't see anything that goes through the frame. Maybe one screw. Yeah, there's an M3x10 that goes through the side. There's a small gap here, and it goes through that into the frame to add some support laterally there. So I'm gonna grab one of those and snap that into the case as well. It looks like the same snap feature as that other one. Sort of press that into place. It snaps in there like that. That way it doesn't lose, doesn't get lost when you remove this. So that comes off. Put that in there. I think what I'm gonna do up first, since alignment matters, is I'm gonna do this side screw first. At least get that started and leave it a little bit loose. That way it positions the case, and that's a hard mount. So getting that correct first is good. The bottom is adjustable, so having a good technique of using your hard points first and then your adjustable stuff second is a better way to do that. So like so. Realistically, I should have put a washer on there or used a button head on there. But in the CAD, it is a socket head, no washer. Making sure things are tight. Again, we don't want to crack it, but it needs to be snug on there. And then Aaron says I can do my, so I've already got the pie on the back side of this thing. Aaron says I can do my my Rambo board next. Put that on there like so. And then for these, I do like to use button heads. They just grab onto the board a little better. So I'll just get some shorties here out of this case. I'm going to use, for some reason they put M3x5s in here in this kit. So I'm going to use M3x5s. I would say, because the back of the case is open with those heat sets, you could probably use anything up to a 10 if you wanted. I'm just going to use these. That's what I have. And I think that's going to be big enough. I don't know. We'll find out. Deep in there. See if I can grab any threads. No, 5s are not big enough. You can grab into the plastic, but it can't grab the heat set. So I would say maybe 8s or better. 5s, no go. But I do have these 8s. We'll try that. All right. Using top corner as my guide. Get that in there. Come on, you. There we go. There's a small cutout for the hardware to go in there. Yeah, it looks like 8s are perfect. 8s come out flush on the back side with the heat insert. And going opposite corner, that way things get square. Let's get that started. The other one should line up after that. Last one here, top right. I like to go backwards until I hear the threads kind of set, and then I start. That way you don't strip out the threads on your heat inserts, and then get them like welded together, because they definitely will. They definitely will get stuck together with that soft brass and that hard steel. You cross thread that, you're gonna have a bad day. Probably have to reprint the part because replacing that heat insert's gonna mess it up. So save yourself some pain and anguish. Again, don't want to pull them out, so we're just snug them on there, make sure the board is secure. Feels pretty good to me. And then from there, you can do your case cover, like so. Quite like that. Very nice, very neat, very stock looking too, right? The case is just big enough to capture all the hardware. So I would imagine when we put this all back together, there's gonna be a lot crammed in there, like there was before. So we'll see. Looks good. Thanks. Let's find out what else we can do. We've got the PSU mounted, the board mounted. We could do the bed, but I'm a little hesitant. I think we could do the carriage and just maybe not the bed. So hide. So this Prusa came with the bed mod, the leveling mod on it. So it has several several of the silicone spacers on it, and we'll probably reinstall that as we go. Rid of these here and that. Hold off on adding the adding the bed to the, yeah. So I just want to do the rods and the carriage. And then the actual bed I will wait until later. That's done after the XZ assembly is completed. Track. Toss them and get the cages from the Mark 4S? What do you mean? Cages. What cages? You're talking like bearings? No rods until XZ, so I should not do the Y-axis at all. Can I do at least these front parts here? I think that's okay, right? Make me mod to post links. Done. 1 second. Let me get to you. All right, Nomad, you should be a mod. I'll tell you what, Aaron, let's make you a mod as well in case you need to drop a link or something like that. You can do so unimpeded. Front parts are okay. Sweet. Just want to get like another 5 minutes of work on this thing. Felt like I wasted a lot of time looking for stuff this morning, so like to get a little further, or as far as long as I can without a gantry. So I think everything kind of below the bed we're good. Above the gantry we're probably good. But I'm at a point where I sort of need that access now to be able to get things going. So this has, what in the world? It's like the longest screw. What goes through the middle? Is there a heat insert right here? Is there a heat insert that goes right here? So I know that goes that way. And I can screw in through the back of here. But there's a hole right there. What is that for? And then a heat insert there. Nothing goes through the middle. With a nozzle probe, you want the bed to be as rigid as possible. Got it. Let's check out the link that you sent over. Ooh, what is that? Expansion joint sets. Do you guys sell these at Printed Solid? It was supposed to be a through bolt at one point. Got it. So I don't need that anymore. What does that say? If you have any stripped or damaged screws that secure the expansion joints, we recommend getting a new set. Okay. Where do these go? We do sell the expansion joints. But yeah, you'll want those for bed mount. All right. I will need to do that. I want to get started. I want to kind of almost be done by next week, so I'm gonna have to make this order today. I can't get it from Prusa because that'll take too long. But if you guys can ship it out like tomorrow, that'd be great. Do I need these screws? The M3x6? They mount the bed PCB to the Y carriage spider frame. All right. Do I need these screws, or can I just use a button head? To correctly install this, you need to do that. I feel like I can use anything, right? I don't need these screws. I do need this. Thanks for that. Let's see what else you got. What is this? Oh, look at that. That's the one I need. Thank you, sir. Cool. I will make that order. Thank you very much. I'll probably get some filament too. What do you recommend? You gotta make it worth the shipping, you know? Ah, just dropped that one across the ground and behind the toolbox. Oh, where'd it go? That's gonna belong to the garage from now on. Pull some more out of here. What do we got? Tins. It's a lot of hardware to secure a little foot. 3 and 4. You can also use the Mark III spacers. So this didn't have the spacers. It came with the silicone mod. So it came with, I'll show you, these little things here. Put my fingers in there. These small little squishable spacers, so you can go around and level out the bed to be as flat as possible. And so I can see what you're saying. Like if we're going to use the PZ probe, when you press on there, you need a little bit of force, and so maybe it squishes or moves just enough to kind of throw the PZ probe off. That would make sense in my head. Oh, we're still dropping links. What is this one? Oh, it's the same. Never mind. Just blanking on the name. You don't want the squishable ones. Let's see. Sorry. Trying to catch up. What they recommend. You also need the middle space. I have the middle spacer. You should have a space from the Switchwire kit. Probably somewhere. But I have the spacer from this one as well. When we were taking it apart, I threw all of the hardware in that plastic case back there. So it did have the middle spacer. What else are we saying? You don't want the squishable ones, but find the spacer that goes in the middle. Yep, should do that. Or some thermoplastic. Just blanking on the name. Bed standoffs. Yep, bed standoffs. What is happening here? Like, these are just not going on straight. Probably a user error. Yeah, definitely need to, go little by little to pull this into position, and then, just make it snug. Plastic part, heat certs, all that. All right. Bottom one in, same deal. All right, four screws in there. Front arm is on. That feels pretty solid to me. Same thing for this one here. I'm just using the 10s that came with the printer. I somehow mixed up the 10s and the 12s. All right, I think for this one, I'm going to do one at a time to see if that works a little better. Trying to do multiple. It was just making it skew, and then it would like bind. So just getting that one snug, and then we'll do another one here to make sure things line up. I am happy that this is a well-designed, thought-out project. Like, even so, I'm just noticing like some of the detail, right? So there's this edge here on the front plate, but it perfectly matches the edge of this standoff part. So little details like that, I really enjoy. So congrats and good job to Ella for making such a cool project. This is gonna be a little squeaky. I think maybe I just over tension the top part here, so this last one is not wanting to play nice. To get a different tool. I don't have enough leverage on that one to be able to do it. What did I do with my larger? There it is. Very squeaky. Very squeaky. All right. Back to this one and snug them all down. And folks, I think we're gonna go ahead and call the stream. It's starting to get really warm out here, and I'm to the point where I'm kind of stuck without a gantry. So probably best to go ahead and call it for there. Save a little bit to do for next week. So as I'm cleaning up or whatever, I'll take any of your comments or suggestions for how we should go. I am tracking. I need a 300 millimeter. Sorry, a 350 millimeter 2020. That's the one piece that I'm missing right now. I'm gonna go back and double check all the parts to make sure I have everything. I need to find some additional bearings. It looks like, and we'll go from there. Hey, JPP, got here just in time. You got here just in time to end the stream. So you'll have to go back and check it out. Check the number of bearings. Yep. I'm gonna go back just in time to say goodbye. Correct. Yeah. So I plan to go back and check the number of bearings and potentially have to purchase some of those because I don't know where all of my 623s are. You could check whenever. Yeah, definitely need more 623s. I need to find them, number one, or buy them, number two. So I'm going to look real quick and see if I can find those. I need to cut down an extrusion to 350, or I guess anywhere from 345 to 350. It looks like there's a slight bit of adjustment that I'm able to use. So we'll do that the best I can. I don't have a chop saw or anything like that. This is me literally hand cutting this thing. So I'll do the best I can. We won't look at it on stream, so you'll never know. But cool. Thanks you all for hanging out. Just over the 3-hour mark now. So Steve Builds should be live doing his thing for the last probably 45 minutes or so. So I'm going to push you guys over to Steve Builds. Go check him out. He's doing a Micron today. So if you've ever wanted to see a Micron build or a Micron update, go check out Steve right after this one here. So Nomad, thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for the link. I'll make that order right now. Appreciate Aaron for being here, Ella for being here. You guys were super helpful and get me aligned to the right direction. So thanks for hanging out. Jason, I'll see you in the Discord as well. I'm interested to see what your Prusawire looks like, and we'll go from there. So thanks to all of you for hanging out. We'll catch you next week on Sunday, same time, 07:30. Y'all have a good week.